A very good morning. I'm Birendra Bajracharya, coordinator for the SERVIR-HKH program at ICIMOD, and I'll be talking about connecting space to village. So when you talk about space, if you are looking into the news, this is the top 10 news story that is coming within last, this news is from last 11 hours, now maybe 12, 13 hours, that Jeff Bezos wanted to fly to space, because space has been people's a dream from childhood. Many of us might have the same kind of dream, but again, you also need to have opportunity like Jeff Bezos who can afford going there. But looking at our space travel, it's been now 60 years since the first man went to space. It was Yuri Gagarin from Russia, and in last April they celebrated 60th anniversary of man's flight to space. So why I'm talking about this space flight is because after going to the space, people started looking back to the Earth, and that's how Earth observation started. And my topic today is connecting space to village, how the information we get from the space can be really used for the benefit of the communities, even at the village level. So this is a very famous image or the photo taken by one of the astronauts from Apollo 8. And this has been one of the top photographs considered in the environmental photo. This is again the first women
spectacular sight of the Earth. And you just had to be stunned and sort of recalibrated by that, how both fragile and elegant and yet at the same time immense and powerful the planet is. And that duality really struck me, that it was the systems on our planet, big storms, hurricanes are hugely powerful, and yet at the same time you'd see elegant signs like little tendrils of dust coming off the Sahara that reminded you about how finely balanced and how elegant the planet is as well.
Yeah, so this is the experience of the first woman in space, about how it really felt looking back to the Earth. So when you see from space, you can also see not only the natural phenomena, but also you can see the human footprint on our Earth. And if you look at this image, this is a nighttime image from space. And here you can see very interesting features, that those bright spots are, if you can see my cursor, these bright spots are the big cities in Pakistan. The one at the very bottom left is Karachi, and you can see the highway that is connecting the bigger cities. And also you can see a line going here, little bit orange color, and that is the India-Pakistan border. So you can see a lot of these human features also from space, and you can relate how the natural phenomena and the human are interacting in our environment. So again, this is another clip from one of the news channel in Nepal, which provides this weather forecast with this interesting animation. But looking into this animation, you need to think that how many technologies in the background has been working. So there's a lot of space technologies, the satellites that are capturing these images of the Earth. At the same time, a lot of modeling is there, which also looks into the wind flows and all those. And again, visualization tools, the way that we do these days. Google Earth is kind of very common platform, but again, there are a lot of other platforms where you can integrate GIS, remote sensing together to bring into a very beautiful information and knowledge product. So these systems can be used for a number of different applications like public protection and disaster relief, using smart grids for electricity, health, forest fire, a lot of other applications are there that has been possible because of the convergence of these technologies. And these days we talk about many new technologies like big data, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, where every mobile, even your washing machines, your TVs, all are connected through internet, and we can really operate them seamlessly from anywhere on Earth. Again, you can see now with all these constellation of satellites, of different satellite systems with different sensors, we can see Earth in a different way. And this is one of the mobile app that is available from NASA. It's called Earth Now. And through this mobile app, you can look at Earth from different perspective. The visible Earth, that is how you would see in the visible bands with your eyes, naked eyes. However, with different sensors, it is also possible to look into different parameters or different features of Earth, like the sea level variation using the gravity field, soil moisture, temperature, ozone. All these different parameters can be measured from space, and that is a kind of measuring Earth, health of Earth. You can say looking at the pulse of the planet. So all these technologies are now in the hands of common man through simple mobile apps, and also trying to understand these phenomena has been very simple, very easy because of all these technologies coming together. Again, we talk a lot about climate change, but again, the strong evidence of climate change has been provided because of the Earth observation. This is the Arctic Sea, which you can see in 2015 over the time how it has shrunk, and this alarmed scientists and really brought the politicians to talk about the climate change as a major issue. Now coming to our own region, brought the politicians to talk about the climate change as a major issue. Now coming to our own region, this is the Mount Everest region. You can see the peak here is Everest, and this Everest region, if you look at it, this is from 2019 image. This is again taken from Google Earth, and if you look back into 1985 image, you can see the glaciers. You can see the glacial lakes here, which has now increased, and also the snow has reduced. Also, the small lakes, superglacial lakes, has increased. Now, coming to our own neighborhood, unfortunately, we could not bring you to Kathmandu, but again, this is the campus where ICIMOD is located. This is our campus, and this is how it looked back then when we built our campus here, ICIMOD. So you can see how things have changed over 10, 15 years time in our neighborhood. And these satellite images, the satellite technologies give the very visible evidence of how things are changing around you. Now, talking about ICIMOD, since many of you might be not familiar with ICIMOD, it stands for International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, and we have 8 member countries: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, India, Myanmar, Nepal, and Pakistan. These 8 member countries are, we call the RMCs of our region, and the HKS region, which has 8 these member countries, also serves as the top of the world, they call, or it is also called the third pole, where it has 10 major river basins supported or coming through this river systems coming through this area. And it supports 210 million people in the region, whereas also supports 1.3 billion people downstream. So this upstream downstream linkages is very important, and sustaining this ecosystem in the edge case is very important for the sustainability of the whole South Asia region. Now coming to SERVIR. SERVIR is a global program in a partnership of NASA and USAID, where NASA's space technology and USAID's development efforts are brought together. And we have 5 hubs. We call it regional hubs in Amazonia, in West Africa, in East Africa, in Mekong, and HKS is where, based in Kathmandu, we call ourselves a SERVIR-HKH. So SERVIR-HKH again has a main focus to build capacity of people and institutions, mainly to integrate Earth observation science and technology, and also to bring innovations and advancements where we can really address the development challenges, and also foster the collaborations between the countries, between the institutions in the region. And our main focus are in 5 areas: in agriculture and food security, land use, land cover, water and hydroclimatic disasters, weather and climate, and air quality. And I'll quickly go through the examples of the things that we have been doing. These are just a very snapshot of things we are doing, like agriculture and drought was for different countries. We have for Pakistan, for Afghanistan, for Bangladesh. This gives you the different parameters which will help you in terms of deciding whether the coming months will be dry or wet. And based on that, you can come up with some inference of whether there will be drought conditions. Similarly, on floods, now the monsoon season is starting, and it has already started in India, and it is going to start in Nepal in a few days. So during the monsoon, again, we face floods as a major problem. And with this system, both from satellite data as well as from the modeling, we have come up with the stream flow prediction system, which gives 54 hours to 10 days forecast which streams might have floods coming in coming days. with the hydrographs that will give you a good idea of the, the extent of floods that might come in the coming days. Similarly, land cover monitoring, where we do the land cover of the whole SKH using, again, Google Earth Engine platform, using the cloud-based technology, so that you can come up with annual land cover changes and look into the statistics on how different land covers are changing from one class to another. This gives you a very good idea about the urban expansions, the change in forest land, the change in agriculture, and so on. Similarly, on high impact weather assessment tool, where we look into the extreme events like hailstorm, thunderstorm, and extreme precipitation. These are, again, very important information which will support in terms of agriculture, in terms of disaster, in terms of tourism. So there are different areas where you can really benefit from these information systems. Now, that is just a snapshot where I think our colleagues will be providing you more details in coming days. However, if you look at, again, the space efforts from different countries, this is the Artemis program, where NASA is planning to put the first woman on the moon in 2024, and already a lot of work is going on in this direction. And this is mainly a very exciting news for the women in particular, the women in technology. And also, if you look at last several months news, you can see that people are not only going to the moon, but China is already there in the Mars, US is there, and many other countries have successfully orbited Mars. And also there are new technologies that is coming up in terms of space technologies, many rocket technologies, launching of satellites and so on, which has made this more affordable by even developing countries. Like Nepal, if you have $1 million, you can put your own satellite in space. And again, there are a lot of these small satellites that is coming up, where even the universities are putting their satellites into space, like nanosats. Also creating a lot of other issues like the space garbage, where you can see this is a kind of artist's impression on how satellites are really covering up our Earth. So you can see a lot of these satellites are already there in the space, but how can we really benefit from these technologies? And especially in this COVID situation, again, this Earth observation community is also trying to do something to help the humanity. And you can see some of these Earth observation dashboard, mainly for COVID, tracking the COVID, and also tracking various impacts of COVID. And so you can see recently, like satellite images were also used during the COVID season to look into the poverty areas, poverty-stricken areas, and how they can bring some relief work based on these satellite-based decision-making tools. So with this, I can give you just a few examples on how this space can really help in terms of even going to the communities. And our effort at ICIMOD has been to build the capacities in different ways. We have capacity building for specific applications for professionals. We also have trainings targeted to government agencies, universities, and so training of school teachers. For example, 2 years back, we trained the school teachers from Nepal outside of Kathmandu Valley, and then they were using the tools that I have just shown, like the HIWAT and the flood forecasting system. And by looking into the system, they were able to alert their immediate neighborhoods and could avert disaster due to flood. Also, empowering women in GIT has been one of our very important program. And today, I congratulate all of you to be part of this initiative. And you are already now our alumni of this Women in GIT, and we hope that you'll be taking up this GIT and Earth observation as your career path in whatever career you are in. I think definitely you'll have some application of Earth observation and GIT. And I hope that we'll be hearing more from you in coming days, how you're able to apply the knowledge that you have learned from us, or be motivated by our training and then take further courses on your own and really use this in your career path. With this, I would like to welcome you once again and thank you all.